all started back in 2004, really. But we have been adding to our collection since 2012. We have them come and we have them go, and we're continuously adding to them. So now we have a couple of hundred haunted dolls in our care, and what we've had from them is remarkable. We have added dolls from all different places. We have taken them from investigations, private investigations that we've done, where people have wanted them out of their home. We've purchased some, either online or from other collectors, and we've actually had several given to us where they felt that they would be better off here with us. You know, we encourage these spirits to be who they are. You know, we keep in mind that these are people who had lives, cars, jobs. You know, they were living people, so we try to let them be themselves here. They don't tend to possess the dolls, so to speak. They do attach themselves to them for whatever reason. Maybe they just like the doll. Maybe they once owned the doll. Maybe it looks like them when they were living. But for whatever reason, they do attach themselves to these dolls, and they don't necessarily live in the doll, but they will stay close by to it as a general rule. Our first doll was Nicole. Nicole is still here. So this is Nicole. Nicole was our first haunted adoption. And Nicole is so special to us. She is where everything started. It started off, I was actually writing for a friend's Facebook page, and we were writing articles about anything spooky, creepy, anything paranormal. And myself and the owner had a discussion one night about what we could do that would be different. And we came up with adopting a haunted doll. We made this agreement that we would look on eBay and we would find ourselves a haunted doll to adopt. And it took me some time to find the right haunted doll to adopt. I went through all their descriptions, and we really wanted to adopt someone into our family that was good with children, good with pets, that would be a good fit for our family.
Well, this is Katie, and her doll is 3 years old, and I've been hanging out with Katie for about 5 years, and yeah, I've never really left her alone. I've always bring her with me everywhere I really go, and she's been everywhere. We would have to clean her and put her hair up and dress her in different clothes just to make her look good and decent. And yeah, and she's really heavy, like she feels like a real child, really.
We didn't want to adopt something that we thought may become a problem or may become malicious or wasn't going to be good around our family. So when we found Nicole, she was perfect. She was a child. She was 3 years old. I discussed with her seller in depth whether she would be a good fit for our family, and we decided yes, Nicole was the one. So it all started with little Nicole, and we were just amazed with her and the evidence that we got from her. So from there, it went to another haunted doll and another and another and so on. We have Rosie. Rosie has actually had a bit of a run-in with another doll, Delta, and Delta decided that in retaliation she was going to behead Rosie's doll, and this happened twice. So now we tend to keep a little bit of distance between those two. Emma and Luna came to us from a special friend in New South Wales, who is also a demonologist. Savannah has been with us for a couple of years now, And she loves to talk to us via electronic devices, and we have had some truly remarkable replies from Savannah. That's Ruthie here. Okay. That's Peter. Peter has decided to launch himself off of these shelves. So, Pete, we'll sit you there. Haunted dolls have become very popular, you know, with the release of popular movies, and it's become a sort of cool thing to have a haunted doll. So there are people out there who will advertise these dolls, you know, with descriptions saying, you know, this doll is haunted and we're frightened of it and, you know, we want it gone, but they'll attach a $500 price tag to them. So we try to steer clear of things like that, just because if you were truly scared of this doll and it did have an attachment, you certainly wouldn't be attaching a $500 price tag to get rid of it. So that's sort of a warning sign for us to steer clear of. But some dolls you really can just tell. I think we've honed our skills over the years so well that we sort of have a sixth sense for picking up whether a doll probably does have an attachment or probably doesn't. We get all sorts of activity here. We have doors opening and closing by themselves. We get a lot of disembodied voices. We have children giggling. We have, you know, discussions going on between them that we hear. We have electronic devices sort of go nuts on us. We have footsteps. We get a large range and variety of phenomena from the dolls. I like to work with them continuously. Some of them we have small amounts of activity from, and that's all we'll get. Others, they like to talk, they like to be heard, they like to be seen, so we encourage that with them, and they're fun to work with. When you get those, you know, replies from questions you ask them, and you know, intelligent responses, it's quite exciting. So I like to work with them regularly. Think that if anyone's interested in haunted dolls, pursue it. If that's your passion, and you know, you'll always come across people who will say, oh look, I don't believe it, or you'll have your skeptics. But if it's something that you are interested in, then by all means pursue it, despite what other people say, because it is very rewarding. I usually say to people who don't believe, come and spend a night at my house. You know, spend a night in the doll room.
My name is Marjorie Ugle. I lived here since 1962 to 1970, but my husband's been reared up in Quindannon. His family used to live here for many years, and he went to work for Mr. Curtis when he was 12 years old. I met him in 1962, we got married, and we had 2 boys and a girl. They were born in Bonneton. Dad used to do all the work on the farm, and this is my little hut where we used to live, and Burma used to work on Curtis's farm at the back there, and that's the gully there. We used to get our water and chop wood. When we first heard it, we was out at Salt Gully, which is over the hills over that way, and it was down in the gully coming up. It sounded like a frog, but not quite like a frog. But when we come back home here, when we used to do shearing, we used to go out there. But when we come back here home to do shearing here, I used to come down the road there, in the ground. Coming down the hill, right down through this ground here, went past my little place here, down in the gully there, and went at the back of the place. And it was shout all night. Dad left I had 3 dogs, Stormer, Speedy and the little border collie. The old girls, they were used to bush noise, but the little one, he wasn't. He got frightened, so I told Dad to bring him inside, but he wouldn't. And they hear it, they knew what it was, and they didn't like it either. It screams all night. I couldn't tell you what it is because I couldn't see it, whatever it was. And it used to keep us awake all night, just screaming its head off. But since it's daytime now, you won't be able to hear it. It usually comes down about 5 o'clock. It starts making its way from that hill down here. And I don't know what it is. Well, I pretty much I was curious, but Dad was frightened. He wouldn't open the door and let us go out and investigate to see what it was. When we first heard it over at Salt Gully, we pitched a tent up on the hill when it used to share. And when we was up there and we were sitting down having our tea with a campfire here, we went down the gully and up that way, got closer to the camp, so Dad Burnwell left off the dogs and they rushed through it. And when they were gone that way, it doubled back and sat up in the tree and screamed all night, but you couldn't see the darn thing. And it screamed all night. So next day, Burnwell got worried about it, so he went and told the boss that his wife was scared. So we packed up and went down to Kenny's garage and camped in there for the rest of the shearing time. But it's really, really loud. And me and Dad decided to move from here because you couldn't get to sleep. It sounds like a frog, but it wasn't a frog. And we don't know what it was. The dogs knew, and they'd seen it, because we used to let them off the chain, and they chased it. And it used to get away from them and double back and get up in the tree and scream all night long. And it happened every year about winter time. As soon as it started getting dark, about 5 o'clock. We don't know why it was following us, but when we first heard it was out of Salt Gully. And it must have attached itself to us for some odd reason, I don't know. No, I didn't hear it ever again when I left. But the old boss on the farm, he heard it, but he couldn't figure out what it was. And we haven't been back since then. No, I don't think I will come back.
It was the 9th of August in 2014, and I was visiting my mum on the Friday. It was about 4 o'clock from memory. The day was a very clear day, and I remember he'd been out to the shops or something that day, and in the afternoon my nephew went outside and we had some like bubbles. You know, you get the stick in the detergent and you move it around and you get your bubbles. So we're outside playing like that, and I'm out there in the backyard of this caravan park, the caravan, and yeah, so my nephew points up and goes, "Oh, look at that," and then he continues playing with his bubbles, and as I look up, there's 2 bright lights in the sky, and they're sort of hovering and sort of moving very slowly towards me in the sky, probably at about the height of a Cessna, I'd say. It's hard to tell, but yeah, very bright lights, and the sky was very clear, so it was like a perfect day. And I'm looking between these 2 lights and there's no sort of craft or anything, it's just 2 bright lights, and they're slowly moving towards me, and as they're moving towards me I yell out to my brother, you know, "Oi, come look at this," you know, yell out his name, and he's like, you know, "Yeah, what?" And I said, "No, come out," and as I said that, the lights moved from this part of the sky and they went bang, 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 really fast, like in a split second. It was just like impossible for anything that we know of to do that. So, and at the last movement, they just faded out, like 2 spotlights just went, and just faded out. And I just was in there in shock. And as that happened, my brother comes out, He's like, what? I couldn't speak. I was just like lost for words, but I was in a profound moment of just like, wow, everything I'd heard about this kind of stuff and sightings was just real. And I just witnessed that and I couldn't put it into words. It took me a few minutes to explain what was going on. And then I remember we had a look at the sky and I'm trying to explain to him what I saw, what I'd seen. And we sort of looked up in the sky and there was like this little black aircraft going the opposite direction, very high. Don't know if that was related or not, but that's the only thing he saw as well as me. But yeah, these lights were very bright in the clearest of days, in broad daylight. So, and the way they moved is just like something we've never, well, it's not publicly known. So, it was something amazing. And the thing about that, I didn't realise until recently, was that the day before that happened, I participated in a mass meditation, a worldwide thing online. And apparently, people who meditate a lot or have that sort of mindset experience things like this. But I don't know if that was related. I can't say for sure, but all I know is that's what happened. And yeah, the next day, that's what I saw. It was just amazing. So I haven't had any sightings since then, but there's lots of stuff online you see. I've never seen anything online or any videos that are similar to what I've seen. So it's very unique from me, or to me. So yeah, it's just one of those things that you hear about, but you don't think you'd ever see. So to actually see that, it's just everything I'd ever believed in. It was just it was confirmed. So now I have a new outlook on life, and it's very interesting. What was going through my mind when I had the experience? That's something I haven't really thought about. It was quite blank, I think. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, but I knew what I was seeing at the time was something different, and I never took my eyes off it. So that's why I called out to my brother when I was observing this. But looking back, my mind was pretty clear, so I just knew it was something that I shouldn't have seen or that I wasn't supposed to see. So yeah, but afterwards I felt very overwhelmed and like it was a profound experience. Like, yeah, it was very positive, but it blew my reality open. It was, like I was saying, after I'd witnessed that, I couldn't get the words out to explain to my mother or brother what had happened.
Hello, my name is Gloria Dan and I live in Otterlin. I'm a young old woman from the Woodandi tribe down this way. I'm originally from the wheat belt, and I'm married, I got 5 children, lots of grannies.
My name's David Dan. I'm Noongar and Wadri.
It's real. Well, the old people, they used to tell us the stories about them, We had to be careful, not run around the bush that on their own, because it's a thing that they like to take little kids away and that, and so they always used to tell us, don't watch out for them little fellas in the bush, they used to call them little mummaries, and they got all different sorts of names for them, and I sort of know them real. I mean, even the little fellas, they always talk about a little mummery man. They'll get you if you're out in the dark and all this and that. So it's a thing that's been, I think, handed down, from the old people, just to remind us to be home and before the dark and be aware of danger out there. That's more or less. I looked at it that way, but when we was kids, we used to be that scared, though. Non-Aboriginal people, they see them too, in the bush when they're walking and that. Well, my younger son and these kids, when we were small, we was walking the bush and they said they see them looking around them around the bush. But, they knew not to get too close and that. But, yeah, I mean, it's a little thing that Aboriginal people, it's there.
Yeah, I seen it. My mama, yeah.
They reckon they're little short fellas and little hairy fellas. They smell stink, they reckon. You'll smell them before you see them. And yeah, so.
Like every little man and small.
A lot of people have seen him, a lot of kids have seen him. And we never used to go outside in the dark because, you know, we were just told not to go there.
Was little and young, and yeah, I smelled them too. And before they come, you smell them miles. They smell like sewage, really sewage stinking smell from it.
You know, you'd hear them whistling. You'd say, listen, the little fella's whistling now. And we'd get around the fire, we'd be looking around everywhere. And yeah, no, it's a thing that's been handed down. We heard about it when we were little kids, you know. And the oldies made sure they kept us close too, you know.
Yeah, they're really small and and they smell. You smell them before they come. You smell it. Best thing you get out of there in the area from it.